Hi there, you're listening to Unnatural Selection, the show about newsy type stuff and things. My name is George.
My name is Tom.
And with our powers combined, we are the mid-strength Unnatural Selection. Make sure you visit us at our salubrious home on the web, unnaturalshow.com. We're about 4.5% alcohol per volume, I think. So,
isn't that full strength?
Is it?
Or is 5%? 5% is full strength, I thought. So you're bordering on full there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a politics about the news that, when all else has failed, occasionally wanders into avenues of funny. So that's what it is.
Okay, no, I'm annoyed we're doing this live because I want to roll that tape back. You just said like it's a politics about the news.
It's a politics I'm tired.
You need
Leave me
to
alone.
listen back. You need to listen back to
All
this
right.
later and hear what you just said because it was.
It's a politics podcast. It's a pod. Is it politics?
That's all right. We've had a weird
tired.
Start.
I've spent the whole day with my toddler today, so you need to cut me some fucking slack, Tom.
We've had a weird start where we totally misunderstood messages with our dear friend and co-host Adam and did not understand that he was unavailable tonight. So here we are sitting here going like, is Adam joining? Is he okay? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then realizing, oh, we're stupid. Adam has plans.
Turns out he's hanging out in the Grampians in the bush with the white supremacists. We don't know that they're white supremacists, but they're just playing, laughing out in the bush in their military stuff. Yeah. It's normal, normal grown man stuff.
Yeah, they're just out there. There's a guy named Wolfpack. Like,
I don't know if Wolfpack's around. I think Wolfpack's retired. I think Wolfpack aged out. Aged out. Yeah, now he's a lone wolf.
Oh dear. Yeah. Inside you there are two wolves. One is a pack and one is alone.
Those are the ones you need to watch out for. Yeah. So, Donald Trump.
Oh boy!
Despite
every episode for the past decade has usually begun with the words Donald Trump.
A sigh.
Going to start for the next decade.
Yeah, a sigh, and then a begrudging. Okay, yeah. So Donald Trump. So there was a shooting this week in Washington D.C. And allegedly, the person who committed the shooting was an Afghan man who served with the United States military over in Afghanistan, and was thus sort of got an expedited, temporary protected status, and then under the Trump administration earlier this year was granted asylum.
As part of the pulling out troops from Afghanistan.
So initially,
leaving Afghanistan a few years ago, and the repatriation.
So there's been a lot of people that worked with the United States and their militaries as translators, as whatever. And some of them, many of them have been left behind, but some of them were eligible.
A real dick move.
It's turns out the empire not so chill, and some of them have been eligible and have been able to successfully land this kind of like expedited status into the United States because they would, under a new Taliban regime, they would be targeted, and them and their families, and there have been instances of this where people have been threatened and murdered for their work with the United States because they're to the Taliban they're looked at as traitors, right? So, so he was repatriated to the United States in 2021, and in 2024 under the Trump administration, in 2025 rather, earlier this year in April, he was granted full asylum. So that was during the Trump administration. And the only reason I mention that is because Donald Trump has gone and said a bunch of like horrible racist things about this guy. And it's just like, and about how sleepy Joe Biden and his auto pen let millions of undocumented, vermin into this country kind of thing. And it's like, well, putting all of like the horrendous racist rhetoric and like borderline Nazi kind of, dehumanization rhetoric aside, technically, Donald, it was you who gave him asylum. I don't want to, it's neither here nor there, but it's like just factually, that's, Sleepy Joe's auto pen might have signed the order, but you were the one who made him granted him asylum status in your country. So it's like, I don't know if that's necessarily Joe Biden's fault. This kind of seems like a your fault problem. But anyway, so what this guy is alleged to have done is shot some of the two National Guard troops who were in DC as part of this Donald Trump Safe America Beautiful plan or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, Donald Trump's Safe America Beautiful plan / invasion.
Yeah, of
kind of scheme.
democratic cities that he's been undertaking over recent months in Los Angeles and Chicago and Washington. And obviously this gentleman was pretty mentally unwell and took issue with these people and is alleged to have shot them. And one of them has since died, I think you said, Tom.
Yeah. How I first learnt of this story was the breaking news alerts, like from the ABC, as sort of I get a lot of.
I switch those off. I can't keep getting pinged at all hours of the day. I can't do it.
It doesn't vibrate or make a sound, so I just happen to notice them when I next look at my phone. Which, me being a elder to middle-aged millennial is a lot because I have a problem. But no, the breaking news alerts for this one were interesting though, because they were like, breaking 2 National Guard troops shot in Washington D.C. Mayor, and that the mayor of Washington had said they'd been shot and killed. And then I saw that there was a news alert half an hour later, so I got them both at once, was mayor has clarified that the troops have not been killed. Yeah. So it got better. Reminded me of the Simpsons bit of like, rushed to a hospital where Mr. Burns was declared dead. He was then rushed to a better hospital where his condition was upgraded to alive. But yes, one of them has since died.
And the Trump administration has handled this with all the sensitivity and grace and elan that you would expect of a bunch of virulent racist fascists, and has essentially declared war on the Afghan community and just people of color, just like the Somalis randomly taking a stray in this as well. And essentially what he said on his Truth Social shit platform is that they're going to pause migration from all third world countries and has lobbed personal insults at Tim Walz and Somali American Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, saying that, we'll get to that in a sec. So it's bad, and there's been a lot of very senior Republicans talking about, how these places are hellholes and we need to extricate all the illegal aliens, and it's representative of the whole community. This, it's people like Tommy Tuberville, a Republican for Alabama, called for an immediate ban on all Islam migrants, Islam in all capitals, which is, again, not the correct usage of the term Islam. It would be Islamic, but it's neither here nor there.
Yeah, well, it just further goes to show that they're like they're super quick and keen to demonize and dehumanize and destroy this other that they've created, an other that they do not understand. Yes. Like, it's that thing of like you claim to hate these people, but you don't even like understand.
Yeah,
like you're not using like terms or concepts correctly. Like you clearly have no knowledge of these people. It's your lack of knowledge.
So they're just racist. You don't need to spice it up. They're just fucking virulent racist pieces of shit. Kristi Noem claimed the suspect was among the quote many unvetted mass paroled into the US under Biden.
What?
Just saying that like, Joe Biden letting millions of the filth into our country, sort of thing. JD Vance said he shouldn't have been in our country. A quote, I remember back in 2021 criticizing the Biden policy of opening the floodgate to unvetted Afghan refugees. Friends sent me messages calling me racist. Vance said it was a clarifying moment. Yes, it was. It was for all of us too, JD, as well. It was a clarifying moment.
It should have been quite clarifying for you. I don't think you got from it what you should have.
Yeah. I don't think you mean that how we mean that, but yes.
Yeah.
So it's... the Republican right wing has understandably taken this, in the worst possible way and is using it to victimize communities of color that, look, frankly, they're already victimizing. They just need an excuse, right?
Yeah.
I don't understand this impulse that the American right has to like show that every shooter is like more emblematic of their country of origin than they are of the country in which all of the mass shootings happen constantly, inexplicably. Yeah. It's like, no, it's that Onion headline where it's like, How does this keep happening? Says country where this says only country where this thing. It says only country where this thing constantly happens, and it's like a guy like with a hand on his forehead, being like, "How did another mass shooting happen?" It's just like, it's gross. And here's the president saying some gross words about it, as you would expect, turning it into like a whole like Obama Rose Garden like type, kind of like presidential announcement. So here's Donald Trump saying some words.
My great fellow Americans, earlier today on the eve of the Thanksgiving holiday, 2 members of the National Guard serving in Washington, D.C. were shot at point-blank range in a monstrous ambush-style attack just steps away from the White House. They had been deputized as part of the most successful public safety and national security mission in the history of our nation's capital, the D.C. Safe and Beautiful Task Force.
That's real, by the way, the D.C. Safe and Beautiful Task Force. Safe and beautiful, Tom.
Which has achieved an unprecedented reduction in violent crime and crimes of all type.
It has not.
This heinous assault was an act of evil, an act of hatred, and an act of terror. It was a crime against our entire nation. It was a crime against humanity. The hearts of all Americans tonight are with those 2 members of the West Virginia National Guard and their families. The love of our entire country is pouring out for them, and we are lifting them up in our prayers. As we are filled with anguish and grief for those who were shot.
Totally filled with anguish and grief. I can't get over it. This is really bothering me in a very real way. I definitely have empathy for other human beings.
We're also filled with
we're building the new ballroom.
Yeah.
Righteous anger and ferocious resolve. As President of the United States, I am determined to ensure that the animal who perpetrated this atrocity pays the steepest possible price.
Animal. Cool dehumanizing rhetoric, Donald.
Yeah.
I can report tonight that based on the best available information, the Department of Homeland Security is confident that the suspect in custody is a foreigner who entered our country from Afghanistan, a hellhole on earth. He was flown in by the Biden administration in September 2021 on those infamous flights that everybody was talking about. Nobody knew who was coming in. Nobody knew anything about it. His status was extended under legislation signed by President Biden, a disastrous president, the worst in the history of our country. This attack underscores the single greatest national security threat facing our nation.
the single greatest national security threat facing our nation is the occasional brown person getting asylum and then committing a crime. That seems proportionate.
Yeah.
The last administration let in 20 million unknown and unvetted foreigners.
No, that's not. No.
From all over the world, from places that you don't want to even know about. No country can tolerate such a risk to our very survival. An example is Minnesota, where hundreds of thousands of Somalians are ripping off our country and ripping apart that once great state.
Minnesota has a bunch of the Somali community there under temporary protected status, again, which is like a legal form of them being there. I don't know what Somalia has to do with Afghanistan. I certainly don't know what it has to do with Afghanistan in the context of this shooting. It's just like, there's lots of browns, incredible browns, shades of brown you've never seen from countries you can't pronounce. And it's like, what's that got to do with this current situation? It's got literally nothing. It's just like,
it has absolutely nothing to do with it. He's just he and his cronies and the right wing have seen an opportunity just to bolt on another group of people, and let's let's destroy two bases with the same racism.
Yeah, it's you can literally, because you can tell he's reading off the teleprompter. These aren't his words. It's literally like
it's far too coherent.
Yeah, it's too coherent. The vocabulary is too good. You can literally hear the Santa Monica fascist Stephen Miller like speaking through him in this moment, right?
Yeah, he's off to the side in the curtains, just mouthing
the word.
Every
the
word.
Most horrible, terrible animals.
Billions of dollars are lost, and gangs of Somalians,
neither here nor there. It's not Somalians, it's Somalis.
Come from a country that doesn't even have a government, no laws, no...
That's why they've got temporary protected status, is because Somalia is a failed state, right? Like it's a clearly... Anyway, but yes.
Water, no military, no nothing. As their representatives in our country preach to us about our Constitution and how our country is no good. We're not going to put up with these kind of assaults on law and order by people who shouldn't even be in our country. We must now re-examine every single alien who has entered our country from Afghanistan under Biden.
Again, alien, cool, dehumanizing rhetoric.
And we must take all necessary measures to ensure the removal of any alien from any country who does not belong here or add benefit to our country. If they can't love our country, we don't want them. America will never bend and never yield in the face of terror. And at the same time, we will not be deterred from the mission these service members were so nobly fulfilling. That is why tonight I can announce that I have directed the Department of War to mobilize an additional 500 troops to help protect our capital city. We will make America totally safe again. And we will bring the perpetrator of this barbaric attack to swift and certain justice if the bullets going in the opposite direction haven't already done that.
What the fuck? Neither here nor there. The whole bullets thing is just like, I don't know, like punctuation is important, Donald. Eats, shoots, and leaves like means two different things depending on where you pause. But like, it's...
Yeah, helping your uncle jack off a horse.
I haven't heard that one. That's good.
Really?
That's great. I love that.
Oh, wow. No, I thought that was the classic one.
That took me by surprise. It's just like the whole reason, like it's not, again, neither here nor there, but the whole reason that National Guard troops are in DC in the first place is because you sent them there, Donald. Like,
yeah.
The fact
he doesn't remember that though. He's a goldfish.
No, I guess, but it's just like the whole reason that they're there and like causing disruption in the city is like potentially part of the cause of the chain of events that ended up. If they weren't there, they couldn't have been shot, right? And so his response is like, "Seems like it's really inflaming tensions. What we're going to do is we're going to send 500 more." Seems like you guys are really pissed off, so we're going to send wave after wave of my own men. It's just insane. I just, God, he sucks. He sucks so hard. There's a little bit more and then we'll wrap it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
During this time of the year when we gather at home with loved ones,
I assume
these two patriots were wearing the uniform of our country, patrolling the streets of our capital. They had taken a selfless oath to defend our nation against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And that is exactly what they were doing when they were gunned down in a savage attack. I want to express my extraordinary gratitude to every member of the United States military who is deployed tonight at home and abroad. And I know a thing or two about abroad. I want to thank the Secret Service and the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department for their work today. This Thanksgiving, I ask every family to say a prayer for the two great heroes who were so horribly shot and for their loved ones. Please say a prayer.
Just like I do. I totally pray and I totally believe in God. God bless them. Yeah, anyway, so it goes on.
Yeah, I swear on this upside down Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, oh God. Like, I know, again, he still should not surprise us, but it's just the overwhelming amount of just crook language.
Yeah,
And you can tell it's pre-written out. Like it's not him off the cuff.
It's not him extemporizing. No. This is planned.
Stuff.
Barbaric and aliens
this is the written official correspondence from the White House.
Yeah,
those words were chosen.
Hope he gets a fair trial. Like obviously it's horrible that these National Guards people were shot. And again, we don't advocate violence and all that sort of stuff. And you feel for their families, as you said, one of them has died as a result of this attack. Like that, obviously that's horrible. But to not recognize your own complicity as president, as Donald Trump, in what's occurred, and then to use it as a way of further bludgeoning already marginalized communities within your own country is just like, that's real sick shit. Like he's a sick puppy.
You are bludgeoning, like traumatizing and like affecting just, I don't know, the single like Afghani mum who lives in Detroit or somewhere,
or
like
whatever.
Right, like this is
people,
or whatever. But like
people who are married to someone for or have like it's just like
let's just drum this up and make the lives of these people worse.
I don't know. I really think he was like sitting, eating a Big Mac, watching Fox News, and he saw this come through, and he was like, "Fantastic! We can do the Somali thing. Let's wrap it all like this." But like, he's thrilled because it gives him a permission structure to do what it is he was already doing, what he was already wanting to do, which was to, abuse communities of color, which is what he's been doing all along.
And probably
right?
This is big enough to maybe stop people talking about the Epstein files for one goddamn minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
He also made a bunch of Truth Social posts using the R-word slur about Tim Walz, who's a governor in Minnesota, who has a son that's intellectually disabled, and just saying a bunch of cooked shit about people.
Yeah, very,
I don't know.
Statesmanly. So incredibly
very presidential. Yeah, the definition of the term presidential is going to have to change after this because presidential now means... I just like, Howard Dean's political career ended because he laughed weird. He was like, oh! he made a weird noise, and everyone was like, nope, not my president. And this guy, like, calls a former vice presidential candidate the R word, and everyone's just like, cool and normal. He's got my vote for a third, totally constitutional third term. It's just like, it's just cooked.
Yeah, absolutely insane. And it's I thought this
I don't know how you would permanently pause migration from all third world countries. What a third world like America, as anyone who knows, who's ever spent any time in America knows, America is like one of the most tightly locked down like visa type situations in the world. If you're just visiting there, as a tourist, you need to get an ESTA, which is like a digital, application for just being a guest in the United States, right? And it's valid for 90 days. And you like, if you fuck it up, Homeland Security is going to come knocking at your door kind of thing. It's like America is already extremely hard to get into. And so the idea that it's like just open borders and so, like is like patently ridiculous, but it's also like, what do you mean when you say a third world? Just say brown, just say the N-word. That's obviously what you mean. Like obviously you're just a fucking racist. Just say what it is you actually mean. I hate all this like third world countries. And it's like, well, I know what you mean by that. What do you mean by that, Donald? Like, obviously it's just say, amazing. It's like it takes me to the Muslim ban back in 2017. When it was like his first thing in office where he's like, just trying to ban all Muslims, and it's like, maybe he thinks it's like, it's learning. Like if I don't say Muslims, if I just say like third world countries, then everyone will get the gist. But it's like, it still comes from the same racist heart that you have, right?
Yeah. He used to say like shithole countries and all that sort of stuff. I guess it's...
And Afghanistan, which is a hellhole country. It's like, well, thinking back, Donald, who made it that way? Who was there occupying it for the last 2 decades with a completely unnecessary forever war? Remind me who that was again. Was that?
Yeah, you think he's picked up a history book?
United. Well, he seems to know everything about all of the weird fucking retrograde racist laws from the 1870s that he's, Stephen Miller's there with the fucking flicking through the old fucking Constitution books. Let me tell you about William Taft. And it's like, you don't know shit about Taft, Donald. Someone fucking fed this to you so you could do some racist shit.
Yeah, Stephen Miller with his well-thumbed and annotated copies of these old laws.
Yeah. Well, if you actually look at the Insurrection Act, it says, fuck off, Stephen. Fuck off, you weird racist. Okay, on to slightly brighter news.
Yeah, speaking of weird guys.
The weirdest. RFK Jr. Yeah. Well, do you want to take the lead on this one, Tom? Because I just don't know if I can physically bear it.
Oh God, I don't even really know where to start with this. RFK Jr.'s gotten into like erotic poetry, is what I understand the cliff notes are.
So the US Health Secretary, it emerged this week that he'd conducted what's been referred to as a digital affair with reporter Olivia Nuzzi, whilst she was at the time engaged to another journalist named Ryan Lizza. And during like the 2020 campaign, they like wrote a book about being on the campaign together, and they were like this political reporter, kind of like power couple sort of thing. Anyway, Lizza
write a book about it? Okay.
Yeah, so it emerged, I guess, some time ago that there'd been an inappropriate relationship between Olivia Nuzzi and RFK Jr. Now, it's been claimed that it's been digital only, basically dirty texts and no physical contact. But she's known for having had an inappropriate relationship with another much older politician whose name escapes me, Mark. Something or other, and that like tanked his career. Then
here she is on the campaign trail reporting on another much older
and very
political figure.
Yes, and very shall we say complimentary reporting about RFK Jr. and his policies during the campaign. So, but she said, it didn't affect her reporting on him. Anyway, she was let go from her position at the New Yorker. She's gone to LA, and then she got picked up by Vanity Fair. And now they're sort of like, quote unquote, looking at all the facts now that, more detail has emerged. And it's like, come on, Vanity Fair, you swept her up because you knew she was going to be a chaos magnet. Like, let's not fucking beat around the bush here.
It makes great television.
Yes, exactly.
Magazine. It makes great magazine.
Makes great magazine, as they all say. So apparently Ryan Lizza, or I call Rizza, discovered the interaction between Olivia Nuzzi and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And so he's talking about on his Substack, she's writing a tell-all book, which is due to come out soon. And so like all of this just like filthy, dirty laundry is being aired at the time and is being aired now because they're all breaking their silences around sort of what occurred.
Yeah.
Right. So as part of these messages that RFK Jr. exchanged with Olivia Nuzzi, who's I think like 32 or 34, he's like 30 something years her senior. The whole thing is very weird.
Jesus.
Now, I know this is the thing. This is the good.
She's 32.
The good and bad thing about doing a podcast is I know good content when I see it. The bad thing is I'm now going to have to read out some of RFK Jr.'s like sexy texts, like sexy poetry messages, which I don't want to do. And yet at the same time,
don't you though?
I know it makes fantastic content, so I'm legally obliged to, as per my contract. So
yeah, this is like when they heard the "I'm jealous of your box of Tampax" quote from the now King Charles.
Yes, he said he wanted to be Camilla's tampon.
With Camilla,
yes, it's in that vein. Yes.
Yeah, excellent.
So it's bad. Okay, so in the latest series of Bombshell reveals by journalist Bombshell, I think it's probably overstating it, The Independent, reveals by journalist and former Politico reporter Ryan Lizza, who was engaged to Nuzzi and is now no longer, a former New York Magazine star journalist. So this is the quote from. Oh my God! And the other thing was like Lizza. He's got a Substack now. It's called Telos News.
I am.
Which is just exhausting as a as a Substack name. Like, you can't make this stuff like telos. Really, it basically means like the goal or the truth. It's like a Greek term, telos or telos. It's just like just exhausting that all these like. And it's like, it's treated as also like very serious. Like all the news organizations are like treating it as though it's like very, very serious news. But it's like, we just want to hear RFK talk about felching. That's why we're here. That's what got the clicks in. We all know why we're here. Tom, I am so annoyed that I had to Google what felching was this week. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to tell you what it is. It's bad.
I'm aware.
Google it or don't. Maybe don't Google it.
I highly recommend you don't.
Yeah, it's not great. So anyway, so here's this quote, the quote from RFK Jr. So I'm going to be doing my very best RFK Jr. impression. You ready?
And trying not to vomit. Come on, George. You're better than that.
Am I? I'm not. I'm obviously not. Your mouth open, awaiting my harvest. Drink from me, love. My harvest. It's just horrifying. Drink from me, love. I mean to squeeze. Let me get through it, and then we'll talk about it. Drink from me, love. I mean to squeeze your cheeks, to force open your mouth. I'll hold your nose as you look up to me to encourage you to swallow. Don't spill a drop. I am a river. You are my canyon. I mean to flow through you. I mean to subdue and tame you, my love.
Is that it?
That's it. That's I don't want to.
Oh God. Oh, I feel ill. I didn't think. It always makes me cringe when people refer to like semen as that someone's seed
or harvest. Harvest is just so much worse. It's so much worse.
Oh God.
Canyon. It's just the image. The imagery is just bad. All poetry is
your
bad.
Sexy analogies are meant to be like better than just describing the visceral, sticky action of
hold your nose as you look up at me to encourage you to swallow. It's just revolting. Like all poetry is bad, but this is really bad.
It's just fucking hell.
It literally feels like, he was like 60. He was like 60 when he wrote this.
You know
what I mean?
Oh.
That
doesn't surprise me at all.
So the least weird. He's the weirdest dude.
The least surprising thing about this is that an older man with a woman 30 years his junior is saying shit like this. That is the least surprising thing about this story.
She previously had relationships with Keith Olbermann, who's like an MSNBC host. Again, also RFK's age, is like a liberal commentator, lefty sort of commentator over in the States, and disgraced South Carolina Governor Mark Sanford. Again, a man many decades her senior. So like, I don't want to armchair diagnose anyone with anything.
We're seeing a pattern.
There's a pattern
here, at least. Seeing a pattern.
We are seeing a number of data points that suggest maybe a couple of visits with a therapist every now and then to resolve whatever issues you might have with your father might be worthwhile. Potentially.
But it's clearly it seems... Yeah, maybe stop tagging along to do feature pieces on men decades older than you. I'm seeing a conflict of interest, like let alone the ethics of this in terms of like, she had a fiance, all that sort of stuff, and from RFK Jr. as well. But it's just more it also just makes you not very good at your job. Like if you want to be good at being a journalist in this context, this makes you bad at that.
Yeah, speaking truth to power and having sex with the subject of your interview is generally kind of seen as mutually exclusive.
It's
clouds
like
the judgment, as it were.
Like, no, that dude kind of doesn't. It means you're not doing your job right.
You know who I feel bad for? Cheryl Hines, RFK's wife. She has had to put up with so much from this man.
Oh yeah, so Cheryl Hines, and also what was his name? You called him the Rizzler before or whatever.
Oh yeah, Ryan
Lizza.
Ryan Lizza.
Yeah, and also just
by the way, he was like dismissed. He's also seems to be a kind of piece of shit as well. Yeah, so he's dismissed from the Lizza, who was fired from the New Yorker in 2017 over alleged sexual misconduct, made the scandalous claims in a current photo account on his website.
I was meaning it more in the sense of whenever there's an affair, usually the people you need to feel the worst for are the other people, like, you know, the ones being betrayed on. But he sounds like a piece of shit.
They're all pieces of shit. This is the thing. It's like, this is less like an American political news story and more like an Italian melodrama. It's just like it's treated with all of this seriousness, but it's like a telenovela. It's like, it's just absurd. Like, you're all terrible. You're all terrible, and I wish you all nothing but the worst.
You reread those dirty texts in your finest Sicilian accent.
Yeah. How dare you come to me on the day my daughter's wedding and ask me to felt you?
Yeah, you come to me on the day of my harvest.
I hate them. I hate them all so much. Why are they like this? Why are they all so deeply weird?
Yeah, that's what.
Felching is in my Google history now. When I'm inevitably arrested, this is going to come up at trial.
Yeah, you're fucked. ASIO's looking into you.
It's over.
My wife and I reference it a lot. Like, just remembering when Tim Waltz, we were referring to before, said that they were weird. And it really got to them.
Yes.
Like Republicans were really bothered by the fact that they were being described as weird.
Yeah, they're all weird little dudes, weird little fascist micro-penis shitheads. Like, I don't understand what issues they've all got.
Oh, yeah, it's so unbelievably weird.
Speaking of issues, we come back across the seas to our favorite person with issues, Pauline Hanson.
Yeah, let's talk about our own homegrown weird people, weird racist people.
Leader of Pauline Hanson's One Nation, Pauline Hanson, has been suspended after her burka stunt in Parliament this week. You might be thinking, George, didn't I already hear about this with Pauline Hanson wearing a burka in Parliament already? Didn't that happen in 2017? To which I would say, yes, astute listener. That did also happen in 2017, but Pauline has come back for another bite of the apple, or bite of the burka, I guess, as it were, and has performed the stunt again. And it took about 25 minutes, I think, for her to be ejected from Parliament and censured for her act of blatant racism. She is not someone who wears a burka as a religious garment. She is, in fact, using it as a way of making fun of people who wear that religious garment. I don't know why this is difficult for people to comprehend. They're like, "What? She's just wearing a garment. If they can wear it, she can wear it." It's like, that is the most facile argument I've heard on Facebook. And I've seen a lot of facile arguments on Facebook.
Yeah, context is everything.
Yeah, it's like, if you're not a Muslim, you don't wear a religious garment that's intended for a Muslim. In the same way that if you're not a Christian, you don't wear a crucifix. If you're not a Jew, you don't wear a Star of David. You don't wear a kippah. If it's a yarmulke, unless the situation calls for it, right? It is clearly
to do so by that culture, right? Like, you know, I've been in a synagogue and they gave me
that's the rule,
wear, and I wore it. Like, but I wouldn't have just gone, I'll just wear this down the shops for fun.
Exactly. Yeah, because that would be fucking rude and racist.
Kind of weird.
Anyway, so she's been suspended for a week, condemned by fellow senators.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, that'll do it. Learned her good.
She'll learn her lesson in a week, even though, you know, she's done this twice now.
So she was, I guess this was under the auspices of promoting her bill that she was seeking to introduce that would outlaw full face coverings in public, a policy that she has long campaigned for. I don't get it. It's not a particularly, like, as far as stunts go in Parliament, Like, A, you're not allowed to have props and do stunts in Parliament. Like, I don't know why it took fucking nearly 30 minutes for someone to say something about this. But like, it sounds like Mehreen Faruqi and I think it was Lydia Thorpe complained quite vociferously about it and pushed the point, and that's what, got her ejected. But it's like, it took half an hour, basically. And it sounds like the speaker was kind of angrier at Thorpe and Faruqi than he was at
for calling it out there for Pauline.
It's just,
I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
It's just so obviously patently racist and disrespectful. Like to vilify, as Penny Wong said, to vilify and mock people on the basis of the religion is just disrespectful to entire swathes of the Australian community. Like it's so gross and grotesque. This is a woman who's, different phases of career said that, Australia was being swamped by Asians, and then again later on said Australia was being swamped by Muslims. She's had a vociferously racist far right. That's how she came to prominence. She was the chip shop lady who would say all the racist things that racist white Australia wanted her to say and give them.
She says what we're all thinking.
Oh, she just tell it like it is. It's like, no, she tells it like you think it is because you're a racist. It's just
and also
sucks,
clearly,
man.
I hadn't even that connection sort of there before, because I remember that she said in like one maiden speech that the country was being swamped by Asians, and then in like when she came back to Parliament like a decade ago said swamped by Muslims. Again, she's not just a hack politician, she's a hack comedian. She's just
reusing material.
She's done it twice now, using the swamped line but then just swapping out the group that she wants to be. She's done the burka bit twice.
Yeah.
Like,
it's old hat. You got to come up with some new material, Pauline.
Yeah, she's clearly like just recycling through it because like doing this sort of stuff and pushing these sorts of agendas is what keeps her elected by her base, which therefore keeps her parliamentary salary, which means all she has to do is just show up and do the burka stunt twice.
She's a stunt-based entity,
collecting a paycheck and not have to actually contribute any meaningful legislation or change or anything to her community or the country. It seems like just if you are willing to just be seen as like queen of the racists, you can just have a very high-paying parliament job and not do anything
for decades. Have your own party. Why not? Is she really? As I said before, she really is just like a completely stunt-based organism. Like that's all she does. She comes in, performs stunts, gets in the news, gets a couple of headlines, and as far as I can tell, has had no substantial impact on the Senate or the body politic beyond just.
I think like legislative,
from a legislative achievement standpoint, she's achieved nothing. All she's done is being the megaphone for the worst impulses of the Australian electorate, right?
Further stoke Islamophobia, and and racist ideologies just through the country.
And according to the latest polling, it's obviously someone's picking up what she's putting down because their polling is sitting around 15%. They're only whatever it is, 10% behind the coalition in terms of like their primary vote, right? Like, it's coasted them into like a potential position of being in a position of power in the next they might be the crossbench in the next Senate sort of after the next election. Guys, late at night. I'm not good at doing this late. In the next Senate, they might be the crossbench with those kinds of numbers, and they would be responsible for any government that needs to pass legislation through would need to negotiate with One Nation to get their legislation through the Senate, which is a terrifying prospect.
Yeah,
right?
That is a terrifying prospect.
The Greens are dropping their primary vote, and the One Nation's picking up steam. And the thing that really annoys me the most about Pauline Hanson is
this will be good.
Just not very bright. Like, she's just a dumb, like, aside from her being a racist, which is obviously an undesirable quality. I shouldn't have to say obviously. It is an undesirable quality. I will specify. She's just not very intelligent. The way she speaks, the way she communicates, it just honestly sounds like your worst boomer fucking auntie at Christmas saying, oh, you know, that auntie that just like always mentions the race of the person she's telling a story about, even though it has no fucking impact of what. And then this Indian came up to me and said, I was like, is it important that he was Indian to the story? Or I don't think that was necessary, actually, Pauline.
Someone vilifies them for being Indian, and that is contextually relevant to the story. Or
and then this Chinaman came up and said, it's like, oh, how is that relevant? That is, I don't think we say Chinaman anymore, Pauline. I think you say Chinese person. It's just like
she's not a cunning operator.
She's thick. She's so thick.
We're not being duped by like some kind of like slippery genius.
Some sort of some kind of like strategic mastermind. It's just like she's a fucking fish and chip shop lady. Which is a noble profession. I rely on fish and chip shop ladies.
Hey.
You know,
I was a fish and chip boy when I was a younger. One of my early jobs in a fish and chip shop.
There you go. I'm having trouble visualizing it, but we'll circle back to that. But you know,
I had long hair at the time as well, if that helps.
Now I can see.
Sorry, just to derail.
Now I can see it. Oh yeah, pick me up a couple of potato cakes. Yeah, give me some dim sums, steamed.
I don't think we did dim sims. We weren't that kind of fish and chip shop.
But like, I'm not to denigrate fish and chip shop workers or owners. As I said, some of my favorite people in the world are fish and chip shop owners, particularly the one around me. They're fantastic. But like, it's, you know, clearly this is a woman who has not had any substantial. I don't think education would have helped her, but like, she clearly is not, you know, the brightest bulb on the tree, as it were, and yet. Just simply by virtue of the fact that she is the loudest racist in the room, she is kind of riding the wave of this broader global movement that's happening toward the far right. Yeah, exactly. She's just kind of like the dummy beneficiary of all of this hate that's being stoked. And she's now finally in a position where she can actively capitalize on it. And she just happens to be the right racist at the right time. Yeah. You know,
it's commitment to the bit.
Yeah.
Like she's done this for so long, it's just synonymously known as, hey, if you also share these kinds of opinions, they'll be like, oh yeah, I'll vote for the Pauline lady.
I don't get it, man. Yeah. I really don't have any theory of mind for someone who would pull the lever for Pauline Hanson. Like with all the weird cooked shit she's said and done, the squatty toilets,
I fondly remember that video.
It was like her talking about how she was going to get rid of squat toilets, and it was like an affront to Western culture or something. What was it about?
It was about that they were installing squat toilets in the Australian Tax Office building, you know, just to be, I don't know, if people just want to use them either for cultural
sensitivity reasons, I guess.
Or whatever, using squat toilets. And I think she just took that as an opportunity to make the argument that, like, hey, if you can't use a Western toilet properly, how can I expect you to do taxes? Because taxes are complicated. Like,
She's the dumbest person. She's the dumbest person I've ever heard speak in Australian politics. And again, that is really saying something.
That's really saying something.
Luminaries such as Bob Catter, Barnaby Joyce, and others, you know, to compete with there. She just really is just thick as bricks, isn't she?
Well, speaking of Barnaby Joyce, and Pauline, because they had a little rendezvous earlier this week, where Pauline decided to, you know, have dinner with Barnaby Joyce, presumably to try and court him over to Pauline Hanson's One Nation. Because the rumblings were that Barnaby was going to be leaving the National Party, given he said he wasn't going to recontest the next election as a national member. And his future was, up for like speculation sort of currently. He has since come out and said that he is resigning from the National Party and is going to sit as an independent. So unfortunately, Pauline Hanson, I say unfortunately for Pauline, was unable to court him to immediately jump to being a One Nation person. He hasn't ruled out running for One Nation.
And he said he might go to the Senate and then he might be part of that crossbench with him. But Barnaby Joyce is not content to be second fiddle to someone else's song, right? No. He wants to be in the scrum, I think was the quote that he said. He wants to be in the rough and tumble of it. He wants to have maximal leverage, maximal power at all times, right? So,
but it means that Pauline was not able to sway him over at this dinner that they had earlier in the week. And it's probably
tell me about the
because-
dinner, Tom.
Yeah, the reason the dinner is relevant is because everyone raised eyebrows a little bit when they saw that Pauline made her and Barnaby Joyce a steak dinner in Parliament House. But, there's not a full... Like, they don't have access to a full kitchen, all that sort of stuff in Parliament House. They didn't go to one of the restaurants, like Pauline.
One of the many restaurants in Canberra.
yeah, the many restaurants in Canberra. Out to Monica, where all the pollies go to drink and have affairs.
as Barnaby well knows.
Instead, having it at Parliament House in one of the kitchenettes, she cooked these steaks in a sandwich press.
With a photographer present.
Yeah, it was a big media stunt. And that's what kind of drew everyone's attention. They were like, are you grilling a steak in a sandwich press? Like a cheese toasty press?
And not just any steak, a Wagyu, like...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, well...
Gina Reinhardt Cattle Company steak.
Yeah, the good food section of the Sydney Morning Herald decided just to do a little piece on this to talk about, is it actually possible to cook a good steak on a sandwich press?
It is not.
It sounded like it was, not a good steak, I think is the qualifier there. It's like, it cooked it, because I thought about the mechanics of it. I'm like, it's a hot plate. It gets hot.
It doesn't get hot enough is the problem.
And you don't...
And she didn't season it. She just whacks it down unceremoniously. And she's like completely unseasoned steak. No fucking marinade. No rub. No, just sprinkle some salt on there, Pauline. Just do something. It's just stewing on this plate. It's just revolting.
That was my
way to ruin a fucking $145 a kilo steak. Like...
That's the other part. So the fact that the good food people were like, all right, so based on everything they learned, the steaks were from Gina Reinhardt's cattle company,
of course,
that goes for $145 a kilogram, saying they looked extremely well marbled, and were by their guess strip loins, and they looked up that 2GR, the company, their Wagyu strip loins on the bone retail for $145 a kilogram. And she had 3 steaks, and so I don't know, like, what those
woman
steaks
of the people
around the size that are ones that are like 300-400 grams, maybe.
They look pretty big.
So that's we're talking at least $300 worth of steak here that she's cooking in a sandwich press.
Just
with no seasoning, no nothing. She flipped it with a fork. Like, this is the most like share house uni mee goreng is the only thing we cook in the kettle because we don't have anything else. Like,
there's that guy who's like 45 who still lives in the share house. Like, mate, you can have a great fucking steak on the hot plate. Let me show you something, mate. Let me show you something, young one.
Yeah, food that expensive is not meant to mix with cooking techniques that like strapped
primitive
for time and cash. That's just not how that's meant to work. But so that caught people's attention to be like it's I think in the sense that it's I've never thought to do that. That's insane.
And nor should you, Tom.
It's a plate and it's hot. Like, and steaks you don't. Well, unless you like them really well done, you're not meant to cook them all the way through. So could it do the job? Like, it had me second guessing it, being like, is she a genius?
It can heat the food up to a temperature where it is no longer dangerous. It cannot effectively cook a steak, I think was the result that they arrived to, was the conclusion that they arrived at Good Food.
It was just me wondering whether is Pauline going to bring down the entire like Weber small portable barbecue empire?
Yeah, maybe.
Have you just this
entirely possible? No. George Foreman, you've got 24 hours to respond.
Yeah. But so as Good Food found, no, it didn't taste that good. They tried it themselves.
Just season it. Just a little salt bay, a little salt and pepper, just something. Yeah. This is a travesty.
And it clearly wasn't enough to sway Barnaby just to join One Nation. So, but watch that space because as you said, maybe he might run for them in a future election. So
also neither here nor there. But does Pauline Hanson, by the looks of this photo, have like a quite large portrait of Pauline Hanson in like a Che Guevara style portrait hanging above her own desk at her office.
I don't know about Che Guevara style, but definitely has like a big like it's not like that famous picture of Che Guevara that's on all the t-shirt.
It's resemblance.
But it is a big portrait.
It's all in red. It's in a sort of cartoonish sort of style. It's stylized, certainly.
I mean, that's definitely her chin, so I assume it's a portrait of her.
Wild. What a strange lady. What a strange thing to say and do. And yeah, all of this, I should have mentioned at the start, actually, this comes in the context, all of the stuff that she's doing with, and believe it or not, that Wagyu steak failed to reel in Barnaby Joyce, and now he's going as an independent. Back to the Muslim thing. I don't know if it's really been reported on, but, like a year ago, a federal court found that Pauline Hanson racially discriminated against Mehreen Faruqi in an angry personal attack on Twitter. So this is when she said,
back to Afghanistan or something.
Go back to Pakistan. Piss off back to Pakistan is the quote. And the judge ordered her to delete the tweet, and pay Mehreen Faruqi's costs. Now, I don't know if it's a coincidence, but like she's back in court this week to appeal that decision. And that just happens to be the same week that she's like wearing a burka to Parliament and shitting on Muslims. And I don't know, it just seems like odd, interesting timing from Pauline to sort of be bringing all this back up.
I judge looking at that appeal, I'd be like, this just further proves that you're probably just racially vilifying people. Like, I'm seeing a pattern here. No.
But in my defense, Your Honor, I also did another racist thing against Muslims this week. Yeah. She's a funny old duck. So yeah, as we said, Barnaby Joyce is going to be an independent and just throwing sand in the gears wherever he goes, just fucking shit up Barnaby style. Yeah, maybe in the Senate next time. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, but he's not been, he hasn't remained faithful to his Nationals Party, which for Barnaby should not be surprising.
Not remaining faithful. Yeah, no, he's pretty practiced at it from what I can see. He said that there was here we go. The quote is 30 years in the National Party. It's certainly not a decision I took lightly, he said. It's not as if I fell over the first hurdle. No, Barnaby, you've stumbled over a park bench because you were shit-faced. Quote, I've been trying to work a way through this for a long period of time. There seemed no real resolution to the breakdown in the relationship, and therefore the smartest thing to do is move on. And that is the Barnaby Joyce promise. The permanent breakdown in the relationship and the smartest thing to do is move on. That's an evergreen statement from Barnaby Multiple Families Joyce. So yeah, we'll see. We'll watch with great interest as he eats repugnant, revolting steaks all over Canberra in his attempt to curry political favour with whomever will have him. Yeah,
I will be watching through my fingers.
Yes, yeah, as will we all.
Speaking of terror,
yes,
sheer terror. So going more specifically in Australia to Victoria, the Victoria Police are
incredible hellhole, the crime capital of Australia.
The Victoria Police are gaining new powers.
Oh, good.
That's fun. Don't you love it when you hear police and new powers in the same sentence?
Whenever an angel beats their wings, Victoria Police request new policing powers.
So the new powers in question are that they will have the power to conduct warrantless pat-downs, search cars, and move people on in Melbourne's CBD for the next 6 months. It's in a move that human rights and legal groups have described as vast overreach.
It's a human rights violation pilot program.
Yeah. This
we're going to see how we go with violating human rights until the 29th of May, and if we like it, we'll keep it. If we don't, if it ends up going to federal court, then obviously we won't keep it. But it's this obviously reminds me of, so essentially, the police are able to stop you and search you if they have a warrant to do that, or if they have reasonable grounds to suspect that you are doing something or carrying something illegal.
That word.
Reasonable grounds. And essentially, what these new police powers enable Victoria Police to do is just completely circumvent the requirement for even reasonable grounds, and
providing they're within a certain radius. This is localized.
If you're in this zone in the Melbourne CBD, which includes, South Bank and the Docklands and the Melbourne CBD, basically it's a
East Melbourne.
human rights free zone. The police can just pull you over, search your car, search your person, pat you down for any reason whatsoever under the auspices of fighting knife crime, which apparently has escalated. And there was a policy very similar to this in the United States, in New York, as you might recall, called Stop and Frisk, which was deemed unconstitutional because it is very blatantly unconstitutional, and that it violates the provision in the American Constitution against unreasonable search and seizure, which basically is what it says on the tin, is that you can't unreasonably search and seize people or their materials without a good reason. And so, like, the legal standard of reasonable grounds was already pretty fucking loosey-goosey. You know what I mean? Like, it is based on a cop's individual judgment. All they need to do is concoct some story that they had some reason to believe that you were concealing a knife or behaving in a way that was erratic or potentially illegal, and they could search you under those grounds already. That was already legal, right? And this goes...
Yeah, that's already the power they had.
Yeah, which was already pretty loose. And now what they're doing is basically saying we've got the right to stop anyone for any reason and search them. And the success rate of finding... illegal weapons and things like that using this method that have been tested previously, pointing to a Liberty Victoria report released in March, which found illicit items, including weapons, were seized in only 1% of searches conducted without warrant or reasonable suspicion in designated areas over a 2-year period. So we have studies that show, this is a violation of people's human rights, obviously, is to be...
For little reward.
And B, how did I do it? B, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't do the thing that you're purporting to try and say that it does.
Yeah.
By, taking a bunch of knives off the streets and preventing crime. Like, that's not what drives crime. People, I'm not going to go into the city because, I might get randomly searched. It's just like, no, you're like, I've got a knife and I'm going to go fucking stab someone. Like, you're not really thinking about the sort of, but what's the constitutionality of the police powers that they're employed to surveil me and, search my person? Yeah. Like, you're not thinking on that level if you're engaged in knife fights, right? So...
I think that the other part of this that frightens me a little bit is that, this also applies not just to police, but to PSOs. The protective service officers, so
on trains.
The people that patrol train stations and all that, who aren't cops, but love to dish out,
but love dressing like cops.
They aren't cops, but they have the power trip of being cops.
Yes, yeah, exactly. All
the CCTV footage of judo flipping people because they suspect they haven't paid for a bus ticket.
The grand crime of skipping a $4.50 metro fare. These gravy seals. Gravy
seals. I haven't heard that before.
You haven't heard that one? No. It's just absurd that you would empower. And it's just an obvious, extremely obvious avenue for racial profiling, vilification, victimizing people of color. We know what happens when you do this because we've seen other places do this, and that's what happens. That rule was in Stop and Frisk was struck down in New York explicitly because it violated the Fourth Amendment, and was obviously used to racially vilify people. The vast amount of people that were searched in these during the period of Stop and Frisk were people of color. And
I was gonna say, wait, don't tell me, black kids.
Yeah,
right.
What a fucking shocker. And it's because of course that's going to be used to racially profile people. Of course it's a violation of their human rights. Why is this being allowed? Why is this not a bigger story that just the Victorian government has just made the CBD a human rights free zone? I just don't understand it. For the purposes of what exactly? I don't know. To just look as if they're doing something about knife crime, I guess, to just look busy.
George, don't worry. The police spokesperson has said that Vic Police has a zero tolerance towards racial profiling.
That's been my experience. That's been my experience with Victoria Police, certainly. Yeah, 100%.
It's not there's been Vic Police with things like "Eat a Dick, Hippie" written on their like body cams and stuff at like protest events and things. Like, oh yeah, zero tolerance towards profiling anybody.
I mean, it colour me skeptical in thinking that Victoria Police has got, the most lefty liberal humanitarian types working for them. I think.
Oh yeah, they're just little kittens.
Just little cuddly guys, just looking out there. That's what the pat downs are really about. They just want to cuddle. They just want some human contact. No one will touch them anymore because they're cops.
That'd be so sad. That's the only warmth and affection they can get is when they're searching someone.
I don't know. If I'm just walking down the street in the CBD and some cop pulls me over and pats me down, I would be freaking out. I would be thinking, what the fuck? What is actually happening right now? It's just unreal that this is now a thing, and that we're all just it's not like there's no comment period on this. It's just like it's happening.
Nope,
we're just doing it.
Like trial.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So I mean,
the spokesperson for Victoria. Hang on. If the spokesperson said, if you aren't carrying a weapon, you don't have anything to be worried about, which is literally like the old dumb bad line of like,
argument.
If you've got nothing to be scared of, why do you have a problem submitting to the police? It's like, because I'm not completely white. That's why. Because some people look at me and think I'm not from here, and that might be a problem if that person can just fucking pull me over and finger bang me on the side of the road. That's maybe not good for someone who looks like me, right? Like,
and the whole it's the whole thing of like, what's your problem with facial recognition, total AI surveillance going everywhere? If you've got nothing to hide, like, what are you worried about? Like, because
it's dumb.
As the human rights organizations have said, it's vast fucking overreach.
Yeah,
the fucking was added by me. I'm assuming they didn't say it, but I bet they thought it.
Yeah, it's literally designed to undermine the safeguards that exist in the law to protect people from being randomly searched and stopped. Like there is law around this already, which prevents the exact kind of activity that is now going to be taking place. Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, we made legislation about this, and you're just ignoring it now. It's crazy. Yeah. I don't know how it's being allowed.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. And that people who really fucking love freedom are probably the people who are for this.
People are just so horny for freedom are the ones that are the first to fucking sign their rights away with the fucking Patriot Act. If you love Jesus, you better live America, you better sign all your human rights away immediately. It's like, what?
Yeah, right?
What? That's great. Yeah, looking forward to working in the city constantly for the next 6 months. Thanks for listening, guys. We have been, we are, and we always will be Unnatural Selection. Make sure you visit us at our salubrious home on the web, unnaturalshow.com. Make sure you visit us, follow us even, on all the bullshit social medias that are ruining the world, that have, do, or ever will exist, at our handle at Unnatural Show. That's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and mother flippin' TikTok. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok at George Tsipos.
You can follow me on Threads at tom.heath.
And you can follow us all down to the CBD, where we'll be stabbing each other.
Oh, wait, what? Chilling out without any weapons.
Without knives.
Just being like, waiting to be frisked.
Yeah, all those young criminals with knives just, they're reading that Victorian police directives and they thought, man, I shouldn't do crimes. So we got him, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. Thanks for listening, guys. Love your faces. We'll see you next week.